Yes, for today, we will be talking about connected. I wonder if you've experienced a conversation with someone recently in which you really connected. Have you ever had a conversation in which you feel that you've really bonded? Okay, occasionally when talking with someone else, it's almost as if your souls open up and you connect, right? You move beyond the hi, how are you? You've connected, right? Or do you ever have one of those conversation in which you just don't connect? No matter how hard you try, you feel that you just can't get through that person. You could be talking to a stranger and they just look at you like you're really from another planet. Or yes, you can usually connect, but for whatever reason it's just not happening at that moment, right? We desperately need others to understand us, hmm? To know how you feel and for us to understand how they feel. We want to be connected, right? So how about you? Do you want also to be connected with others? So let's talk about this connection impacts your health. Alam nyo ba, may mga impact if you're being disconnected with others. So let me talk about those things. I read a study done by an American Department of Mental Health. So I want to share this with you. I have read this. They discovered that if you're disconnected to other people, there's no one in your life that you really feel understand you. You are, number one to two times more likely to die an early death. Now, next is 4 times more likely to suffer from emotionally burnout. 5 times more likely to suffer clinical depression. 10 times more likely to be hospitalized for an emotional or mental disorder. You know, human connections are good medicines. Yes, naniniwala ba kayo dyan? Naniniwala ba kayo na human connections are good medicines? Yes, thank you. This shouldn't surprise us. In the Bible, we read if you have your Bible with you, open it in Proverbs chapter 27 verse 9. It says, "A sweet friendship refreshes the soul." There's something about a close relationship that refreshes us spiritually, right? We were designed for intimate, loving relationships in which we're enjoyed simply for who we are and not what we can do for others. You need people who understand you, who relate to you, and who can connect to you. Now, you may think that the Bible has little to say about the subject of friendship and how to get connected. So, let's talk about it. But you know, the Bible is full of advice on how to be a friend and on the benefits of friendship. It's full of examples of good friendship. So if you are very familiar with David in the Old Testament, he had a friendship with King Saul's son. Who was he? Yes, he was Jonathan, right? They made a vow to be friends, and David kept this vow even after Jonathan died. When Jonathan died, David said, "How I weep for you, my brother Jonathan. Oh, how much I loved you, and your love for me was deep, deeper than the love of women." So you see, they had a friendship that was tested, but they drew together in difficult times and remained friends to the very end. So, do you also have a friend? I know you have a friend, right? Each one of us has friend. Okay, Jesus had also close friends. Kilala niyo ba sila? Out of his disciples, Jesus had 3 close friends. And who are they? They were Peter, James, and John, right? Now, out of this inner circle, John is called to be the disciple that Jesus loved. Now, the Bible records that Jesus had some other close friends that he would stay with when he was nearby. Now, if Jesus had close friendships, that's a pretty good indication that we will need close friendships as well. Okay? It's important to think sometimes of how we connect with other people. Huwag kayong tatago-tago, no? You have to connect with other people. The Bible, especially the book of Proverbs, is full of principles on how to connect with people at the deepest level, the heart-to-heart, soul-to-soul level. This is one of life's most important skills. No matter how brilliant or talented you are, unless you know how to connect with others, you're not going to be very far. Okay? Gets nyo? So unfortunately, most of us are never taught how to connect with others. This is not a good news, right? It's certainly not taught at school. Tinuturo ba na teacher nyo? Yeah, some, but the applications should be from you yourself, right? So, some of us might not have learned healthy patterns at home either. Di ba, minsan, hindi rin kayo naturuan sa bahay na maayos about how to make friendship, how to be connected with others. So, what does the Bible say about relating to others? The first key to connecting with them is to commit a relationship. Don't forget that. So be committed to the relationship. Don't forget. In Proverbs chapter 18 verse 24, it says, okay, let me read, "A man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother." Now, to put it another way, it's better to have one reliable friend rather than a number of unreliable ones. Do you agree with me? Okay lang daw na meron kang nag-iisang friend, pero trusted mo siya. Nakaka-relate? Now, one important key in relationships is being committed to the other person. Do you remember when you made a major transition in your life? Yeah, you left school, you moved jobs, or you even moved cities. Yes, ganun ang ginagawa ng ibang mga tao. You probably made promises to keep in touch, right? When you move to other places. How is it going? Huh? If you're like most people, you connected with others and you didn't miss the old relationships that much. You were really committed to a relationship. That's not all bad. You can only be friends with so many people, but if you want to really connect with a particular individual, you got to be committed. Okay, you've got to be committed to the relationship. You've got to say, I will be that person's friend no matter what. Okay? Now let me ask you this. How many have you committed to connect with, no matter what happens in your life? If you can think of anyone, this might be the reason why. If you've thought of 1 to 3 persons, you are a very blessed person. God has given you some very precious friends. If you think that you have 4 or more friends of this type, you probably have a problem. Most people can't have more than about 2 or 3 deep relationships or deep friendships. And when you find friends of this type, you need to be committed to them. Okay, the main point here, listen. You don't need many friends in your life, especially in this life. But you need a few good ones. It's better to have 2 good friends than 1,000 acquaintances. The key difference between a friend and an acquaintance is commitment. Okay? So, let me tell you more about a Lego. Okay? It says here in my reading, we are like Lego pieces. We only have so many connect points. We need to assess whether we are making the effort if we do not feel connected. If we do not invest the time and energy to try to connect with others, then we will not make those connections. We cannot expect to show up to a worship service once per month while not engaging in other events or groups and expect to make connections. Our Lego pieces will never come into meaningful contact with others. We need to assess whether we are opening up space for others if we do feel connected. If we do not open up time and relational space for others, then we will not be available for new people to make connections with God or with us. So, ano ibig ko sabihin? Kapag hindi open ang iyong sarili to make connected with others, wala rin, right? Our Lego pieces will remain full and new people will connect with us. Okay, God is building up His people by joining people together in meaningful relationships. God's love and grace flows through real people in real relationships. Our role is to discern what we need to do to be open to those God-given connections with others. Thank you for listening.